Hi, lovely people. Hi, lovely team. So, this is session 3 of our Scrum Fundamentals. Now, session 3 of Scrum Fundamentals, so we'll be covering the third topic today. You already remember what we covered in project. Session 1 was introduction, session 2 was the project and operations on the software. Just go through, I will link the videos in the description. Today we'll be covering the session 3. The session 3 is stakeholders. All right. First of all, we should know stakeholders are very important bodies in the project. What is a stakeholder? All right. Stakeholder, first of all, they can be single individual. They can be group of people, group of individuals who are first active, who are involved in the project activities, project decision making process. Okay, so yes, so they are impacted by the project outcome. Impact can be positive, impact can be negative. Negative is like, for example, I was building a project. So in that project, we had a production leakage. So in the production leakage, it was not actually known, right? And the project went live. So the bug was that it impacted many users negatively. There was an impact was negative because it was a defect. So many things like some card details and all, they were not being entered, they were not being saved properly. And that was a lesson learned. But yes, you come across many such positive and negatives in the projects, and that's how you grow in organization. Yeah, so yes, impact can be positive and negative, right? So and then stakeholders can be direct, for example, developers, the Scrum team, the product owners. Stakeholders can be indirect, for example, the end users. Stakeholders can be internal as in all people managing the project. They can be external. External is again like the governing bodies, the regulatory bodies that project has to go through, that has to be part of every project when we are developing that. So, and then there can be like suppliers, they are all external stakeholders. So yeah, that's about the stakeholders. So let me know if you have any questions. We'll move to the next topic. Okay, so in continuation on session 3, earlier we discussed what is a stakeholder, how many types of stakeholders are there, who are the key stakeholders. Stakeholders can be impacted through the project positively and negatively. In continuation to that, today we'll be discussing what is a power index matrix. So that's a very important thing in the Scrum guide to know what is a power index matrix. We usually have a matrix which has a 4 quadrants. 4 quadrants, when I say the first quadrant is high power, high impact. These are the stakeholders which have very high power and whose impact is also very high. For example, project sponsors who share the budget, who share the SOW, who share all the budgeting of the projects, statement of work. They are the people with high project, high priority. High power and high impact. So second comes as our high power and low impact. These are the people whose power is high but impact is low. For example, the executive, the senior VPs, all the executives, these are those stakeholders who have to get the input of the project, daily status of the project. We have to be transparent with that team. However, their impact is low. They are not involved in day-to-day activities. However, we have to be transparent with them, so their impact is low but power is high. Next we come as low power and high impact. These are the stakeholders. As our name suggests, they do not have high power, they are low power, but the impact is very high. For example, our Scrum team, our IT team, developers, testers, product owners, Scrum Master, they all have very high impact because they'll be generating all the deliverables. They are responsible for the outcome that we are generating, right? However, they don't have much power in terms of business. Next we come as low power, low impact. Although they are a part of the project directly or indirectly, hence they are stakeholders, but they have low power and low impact. For example, end users, suppliers, whose feedback matters, who uses our product, but they don't have any impact or any power in the project, right? Okay, so this is a stakeholder part. Now we come to the project. Okay, so in session 2 we discuss what is a project. I hope you remember. So project is, I'll just summarize, it's a temporary endeavor which has a start date and end date, right? Which can be active, which can just go through the session 2, you will get to know what is a project. Now, in continuation to that, we will discuss how many types of projects are there. So there are many types of projects, like first is SDLC, SDL, software development, SDP, software development project. So as the name suggests, these projects are there to develop a software. It has various phases. This project has various phases: initiation, planning, execution, maintenance, and closure. So this type of project will pass on through all these phases and deliver a product. Okay, next, so we use usually Scrum is preferable. We use Scrum because we have multiple changes, so we use Scrum for such kinds of projects. Next we have infrastructure project. Infrastructure projects are the projects that build the foundation, right? For example, CI/CD pipeline, cloud setup. These are all part of infrastructure project. We usually use Kanban for such type of projects. Next is we have data migration projects. So data migration projects, as the name suggests, is used when we have to migrate data from one system to another, one application to another, one server to another, or one database to another. For example, there is a project let's consider a project named as incoming bill payments. It has data of the customer stored in multiple databases. Now, as a new type of project, as a new data migration project, we will move the data from multiple databases to a single database for cost reduction, accountability, easy access, right? So this type of projects are called data migration project. Again, preferably we should use Scrum in such projects. Next is business process improvement projects. So all the projects that are involved on business process improvement based on the suppliers, customers, end users feedback, we will have a project that is called a business process improvement projects. Next, we have our IT security projects. So all the firewall setup, compliance setup, regulatory setups, all that type of projects are called as information security projects. Next we have is R&D project. R&D, research and development. So any project it's a very long-term project because it involves research. These type of projects are very high cost projects because we have to do research and development and then build the product. So that type of project is called research and development project. Usually in IT, we also call some projects as maintenance project. However, this is a wrong term used in our project management or our software teams. We do not have any maintenance projects. Rather, they are operations because it's an ongoing activity. So they are called as operations project, not maintenance projects. All right, guys. So this is our session 3. Go through this video again and again, make notes, ask any questions in the comment section or my email ID listed in my channel. Go through them, and then in the last we'll discuss the interview questions also. I'm sure going through all, you will not need to go to any Scrum guide or anything, because I'm explaining everything from scratch, even for a non-IT person to come into an IT department by going through my videos. I hope it is helpful to all of you. Thank you.